What's up?
You're listening to Inside Real Estate, your source for all things mortgage and real estate related. The show that brings you all the hottest topics and insights directly from those who know it most. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Inside Real Estate. You've got myself, Paul Apostolakis, my co-host, Tom Lauer. We've got a very special guest today, Mr. Kyle Desmond from Holland. Previously Holland Hunter.
Yeah, now it's the agency Holland Hunter.
The agency Holland Hunter.
Yep.
We'll talk a little bit about that and the switch that you guys made. Today, we've got a lot on the docket, but for those of you that have found us, thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time here, please go ahead and like, share, subscribe, and make sure you give us a rating after the episode if you liked it or not. And you can find us at Facebook.com/IRE Podcast. You can go to irepodcast.com or anywhere that your podcast heart desires. What is up, Tom?
Hey,
how are you?
Fantastic. Best day ever.
Yeah.
Glad to be in the studio.
Yeah.
Love the lights.
Lights are good.
Yeah.
It's a little warm.
Yeah. It's a little gray day here in Auburn Hills, Michigan.
It is a gray day.
Yeah.
It's a great day. So, Mr. Kyle Desmond, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah,
you've always
you've been on the show. What now?
3 or 4 times? Man, that might
three
be,
times?
Might be 3.
3 times.
Yeah.
You brought alcohol this time, which was
I
good.
did. I know. I don't know what I was thinking the first couple
The
times.
good stuff too.
Yeah. You brought the good stuff. So
I didn't even open it on the way. So that's there you go.
Surprise, it's full.
I know.
It's very surprise it's full. So today I want to talk about a little bit about Mr. Elon Musk tweeted on the housing market.
Ooh.
We'll talk about that. He's always interesting to hear.
Yeah.
We've got Mr. Jerome Powell. He stated that he is not afraid to raise rates more than they already have to combat inflation. We'll talk about that. And then we'll talk about the housing market in general and just kind of how we're feeling about it. I think we can handle that, right, Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can handle that. So first and foremost, you guys want to hear what Mr. Elon Musk tweeted on the housing market? So he tweeted, I don't support predatory lending, but many of those lenders were severely wounded or didn't survive. They dug their own graves, a lesson we should all take to heart, including me. Yeah.
Like a 12-year-old message.
That's what he wrote.
I mean, this is old news. What's he talking about?
I don't know. That's what he wrote. I think he's talking about in today's market that we dug our own graves and that we're like in a really bad position.
I mean, you can probably answer it better than I can, but my thought is, the only thing that's really, obviously the rates are going up, but there's, all the refis are done, but you guys are still doing business.
I mean, we're still doing business, but
It's changed.
Applications are down 76% year over year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge hit.
Yeah. Absolutely no for refis.
No refis.
Those are gone. It's tough. It's tough for especially the new buyers. I mean, they see prices going up and then they see rates going up. We're staring 6% in the face now. And it's like, it's what, 40 to 50% increase in monthly payments.
Yeah, if it's the thing I've seen a couple people that I've had clients that they kind of got fatigued last year, right last year.
Great word for it.
Or 2020, or and now they're back in and they're going whoa, and I've seen some people put more money down because to kind of get that payment down to where they want to be, but those other people are just biting the bullet and need a house for one reason or another. But it's for buyers right now. It's they're looking at things going, what happened?
Yeah,
what happened?
It happened overnight.
It did. I mean, it was all of a sudden. I was at 3.5, 4, 4.05. I got people calling me. What? It is, and I think too with the inventory still being so low that you still have to overpay. Guaranteed or waive an appraisal, all that kind of stuff. Give them free occupancy for. The sellers are still sitting up here like this is great because people are still doing it. But
people are still doing it.
They are, but for these buyers, man, some of them the ones that waited, we're gonna wait and see. We're gonna wait now.
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, we should have waited.
Are you guys feeling, I mean, you guys on the real estate side, are you guys feeling a slowdown just in general from buyers? Just because there was a fervor, in my opinion, right? There was like, it was like, we had COVID and that started, and then all of a sudden it came out of COVID and people were like, we want houses, and there was a huge demand for houses. That demand, do you guys feel like it's slowing down a little bit right now?
I mean, I do a little bit with buyers. I think, we've been, my partner Mike and I have been fortunate to have listings this year. I mean, that's, we're usually kind of split 50-50 anyways, but this year we've been fortunate, that we've had some people that, have wanted to sell their house, and that's great. Obviously we're still working with buyers. We've gotten buyers into houses. It's taken a while, but we're kind of getting to that point. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely seeing people kind of, we're going to stay put. And a lot of it is looking at, the monthly payments, the interest rates, what they're going to have to get, what they're going to have to do to be be get a house.
Yeah.
And I hear that all the time. I don't want to do that. I can't do that.
I'm not doing that.
I mean, my brother, my little brother wants to move. And I'm telling him, I'm like, you won't be able to get these. You don't have, you don't have that. You don't have that power,
right?
You don't have the buying power, which most people don't. His age, it'll be his second home, and we've talked about it a bunch. And he, but he's started to get that itch. So I told him, like, this is what we're gonna have to do. I laid it out for him, and he's thinking about it. So, but I think that's a big thing. But I think it definitely is slowing a little bit, but at the same time, because I think people, like I said, the fatigue word I keep using, because people offer 3-4 times in a house.
Right.
They go over asking all this stuff and they don't get it. They're like, well, what am I? And then all of a sudden, 2 months later, the rates are, at 6.
Yeah.
They're going, well, God, now I got to. So it's just, I'm definitely seeing a little bit of a slowdown.
Is the fatigue buyer coming back to the market at any point in time? Do you guys see that happening? I mean, if you're fatigued, this isn't the market you want to come back into, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, what is it going to take for that fatigue buyer to come back to the market?
It's a lot of have to move people. Like, the people that are moving have to move.
Right.
The ones that have a house and they have equity, they might add on. They're doing other things. They're not thinking about moving.
Yeah. No, that's well put. And I think that until the inventory picks up or something, there's something kind of needs to happen where to level it out, where the sellers don't have everything. They're getting everything they want. I don't want to say they're getting greedy, but there's a lot for buyers to have to do.
Stransky last week said they are getting greedy.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, it's like, what else do you want from me? You want my firstborn too? I mean, you're getting to that point where, and I think with buyers, there needs to be more inventory. Is that going to catch up? I think probably end of 2020, beginning of last year, I'm like, oh, this will, we'll get out of this. There'll be more coming, and it hasn't really changed. I mean,
no, it hasn't changed. We've had a sparse inventory situation.
Yeah, we have there might be a quick uptick, and then it's gone. Then it's okay.
Yeah,
well, those 35 people got their homes. Now we're back to
right. How many months of supply do we have right now? Like a month?
1.4, 1.5.
Yeah.
That's it. And average and normal numbers would be 3-4 months of inventory.
Yeah. I mean, I think when I want to remember the market like 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
I think there was 4 or 5, maybe sometimes, but right kind of around there, which I can remember that market. I mean,
weird.
I kind of do. Like, that was 3 years ago. And I'm thinking, I remember people being like, all right, we looked at 5 houses. You like these 2. Let's take our time and figure out what. No, you can't do that. But that's when, I mean, that was kind of the market that, that I thought was, kind of good for everybody. I mean, sellers were healthy. It was healthy. Sellers were making good money. Buyers the rates were, at that time, the rates were, right around 4, which is, I remember I got
concessions.
4. Yeah. Exactly.
That was still around.
Yep. Sellers concessions were around 4.25. I remember I got 4.2. I was like, this is the greatest day of my life.
Yeah.
And, I think I remember that. If we ever got back to that, I think that's when you'd see some buyers come back where they could make a decision as opposed to being forced their hand and saying, hey, you got to give up your life savings to buy a home that's probably worth $500,000. You got to pay $600 and guarantee it.
Right.
So.
Right. It's one of those weird things where, I don't know what's going to break. I don't know what's going to change.
That's what we keep asking. What's the catalyst going to be?
Yeah.
What's the catalyst to change the supply demand dynamic? Is it going to be rates?
Yeah.
Is it going to be, houses coming to market somehow? I mean, is it a recession? Like, what's going to make the change?
Right. I don't. I wish I knew. If I could
asking.
You got
if
really smart people in here. We don't know.
If I could predict the future, I wouldn't be doing this.
You're right.
So, I think everybody is just like literally. It's gonna be him. It's gonna be you. It's gonna be us. It's gonna be them. I think it's really to the point of we're all just. I mean, for me, I just keep going.
Yeah.
Do what I can. I mean,
Right.
it, and just kind of keep your clients educated, keep your sellers kind of what's going on. But at the same time, something you cannot keep this up.
And you would think that there'd be a lot of, new homes coming to market, right? Like if we know we're in this supply crunch,
Yeah.
what are builders doing? What are, condo developers doing? What are, converting some of this retail to single family housing? You'd think that, but I'm not really seeing a lot of that. Are you?
No, I mean, you see the new constructions and, there's kind of where I'm, kind of my target area, the Royal Oaks. I mean, there's not a lot of building going on. I mean, there was a huge uptick there.
Yeah.
There's still, I mean, you still drive around, you're going to see them, Beverly Hills where I live. There's been some stuff there, Bloomfield over by Seaholm High School and that like Westchester Village. There's some new builds going up there, but those are all gone before they're even.
They're all spec homes. They're all,
homes.
yeah.
So, and I think that, but you're right. I mean, where is the?
You'd think these builders are just like, it should be heyday for them right now, and they're just absolutely going crazy. But I just don't see the units coming to market as quickly as I would assume it would happen based on the supply and demand.
I think too with the cost of everything going. I mean, it's just these builders are going like, now I gotta I want to make X. I gotta multiply here, so it's tough. And I think the other thing too that stopped, and I mean, it really kind of slowed is the flips.
Right.
That was that during COVID. I mean, that was, I mean, you saw so many of those going on.
Yeah.
And now I really do not. I mean, I've walked in a few, but that, 2017, 18, 19, 20, I mean, there are people.
A lot of flips.
Hard to find them.
No, and now you can't exactly because there's other people.
Right.
Because they just come in with cash and oh, great, I'll close in 10 days. Well, now there's so much competition. They can't, there's no one to get them. So
no margin there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. That it's an interesting situation. I mean, we talk about it until we're blue in the face, but realistically, I don't know that we're going to find a solution that is going to happen anytime soon. I mean, other than like foreclosures or a bunch of housing or buildings, it isn't there right now. So I think we're going to be in this situation for a little bit.
Just keep doing what we're doing. The one thing, you asked how it looks now versus maybe last year. Total units moved. We're about the same as we were last year, but like you said, we used to be pretty buyer heavy.
Yeah.
Now that's flipped. Now we're listing heavy.
Yep.
Yeah.
But as far as total volume, I think we're up maybe 5% this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We Mike and I's, our volume has stayed, pretty normal.
Static.
Yeah. I mean, there was, COVID year was a little nuts. I mean, we did a lot. And
you said Mike and I, do you have a partner?
Yeah,
that
my
you work
business
with?
partner, Mike Parada. So
cool.
Mike's been at Holland Hunter for 22 years. He went to UD High where I went. He was older, about 4 or 5 years older than me. So we partnered up fully in 2019.
How's that experience been?
It's been great
versus being a single agent.
It's I'll say this, when you're on your own, it's you're I mean, I couldn't sleep at night sometimes. You just got that. With Mike and I are obviously great friends. Our wives are very good friends. We've been friends forever, but he's a calming guy. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's very experienced. He's like the best, but he doesn't get high or low. He knows what he's doing. But to have him to bounce things off of and to trust him, but also our business merging has been great because we have, I'm newer, a little bit newer. He's been around forever. We really both work on referrals. That's kind of what we hang our hat on. And to have a guy who I can lean on, and also who, hey, I got the kids. I got to go up north.
Right.
I got to do this. He's like, I got you, or vice versa for him.
It allows you a quality of life.
It does,
still.
and it you're in it together with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody you're close with, and we have fun. I mean, we don't take ourselves that seriously. We're, we have fun. We do well. We love our clients, and that's how we've been. So it's been great. The transition for me and for him he was in business with his mom for a long time. So he's a little bit used to it, but he's with me. I kind of rejuvenated him a little bit. So it's been a nice.
How long have you been doing that?
I mean, we when I went to the agency Hall and Hunter in 2017, we crossed a lot. People are like, I don't know what to call now. Well, so we started listing some things together, and then eventually it kind of snowballed into a partnership of, hey, we'll work together, we'll have some percentages going, and then 2020 are like, let's just go 50-50 and let's do this. So that's where we've been.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been enjoying.
Takes a lot of trust to do that.
It does, and I don't think I could. I really don't think I could do it with anyone else, to be honest with you. I mean, I do. I mean, I love a lot of people, but he's a guy that he's the best. So there was no real hesitation. He probably had some more hesitation than I did. But yeah, no, it's been great. And then it's, to have somebody in it with you is.
Do you see a lot of that in your brokerage? People partnering?
We have groups. We're probably the only, I would say there's a couple husband and wife groups. So we're probably, but there's been, Pam Stoller and Ashley Mann just partnered, and they've used to work together. So yeah, we actually have a good amount of that. And then we have some bigger groups. Meredith Goldberg has not a big group, but 4 or 5. Cindy's team has 3. Yeah. So there's a lot of, there's still some individual agents, but I think and I think a lot of, people bring in other agents to work with them because, it's they need the help, and 2, it just helps business. So,
yeah.
I know we talked about this at the beginning of the show, but I know Hall & Hunter now locally has become the agency. The agency is his national brand.
Yep.
You've got Maurizio from the show who's kind of running the thing, right?
Yep.
So my question is, getting it like this national brand because Hall & Hunter, boutique, Birmingham, downtown Birmingham type of agency.
Great brand, great reputation.
Great reputation, solid company. And now that you're teaming up with the agency, what is changing for the brand going forward?
I think it's just kind of gave us, a little kick in the pants in terms of, and kind of reinvigorating us in terms of, we're still going to be us. We're still going to be Hall & Hunter.
Right.
That's Brad and Ryan and obviously their dad, Dennis. I mean, that's, the kind of the family atmosphere, luxury boutique, kind of how we service our clients. That's never going to change. That's our motto, that's our family, place. And I think with the agency, they are also luxury boutique, but they also offer that back end tech, and then they have their marketing, their PR. They have, and like I said, they're growing right now. So they're not even, they're still adapting, changing, and evolving where, we kind of will be with them now, which is nice. So we'll still be us, but we're going to have them backing us, as a franchise of them. And it's, it's been great. I think Hall & Hunter needed, I think Brad and Ryan were, they are aware of what their dad did. And these guys have been there kind of helping them run it for the last 8 to 10 years.
Right.
But they knew that they had to do something, and they were aware of it. And I think they did a great job. And I think, it's only been a couple months, but I think as this year progresses and into next year, I think as the agency keeps evolving and growing, we will too. So I think it was a really, really nice fit.
Have you seen the effects of any of that brand or PR or, any of those efforts yet?
You know what, for me, yeah, I think what it does is it starts the conversation, whether it might catch the eye of, people on social media, like, wait, what do you, I'll get texts, I'll get calls, even with other agents. But yeah, I've seen some, people to start a conversation, you get a call from someone or a text you haven't talked to. It's like, hey, actually what's going on with this? And then all of a sudden it moves into, hey, my mom wants to sell her house or something,
Mm-hmm.
so I've seen it like that. Again, that's kind of that rejuvenation, you kind of like a little bit of a restart, and you kind of get, you're out there a little more, and then you're out there, it's always, how it is. It's staying on top of mind.
Sure.
And I think that, but yeah, I think what we're doing is, there's a lot going on. I call it the Birmingham real estate wars. You got all these offices and all like great people, great brokers, and they're all kind of fighting for the same thing. And I think we've always been, we don't have 300 agents, we don't have 250, we have 85. And for us to have a backing and the support and and brand with the agency, I think going forward will only help us.
I know you guys are hiring right now. Are you guys seeing attrition in your worlds and in the real estate side? I know on the mortgage side, we're seeing a lot of people leaving the business and going into different parts of the business or going to get out of the business completely.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that happen as things have gotten so much harder to be a real estate agent?
Strange.
Or are you seeing the opposite?
Yeah, we're seeing the opposite right now. And I don't know where it's coming from, but we've brought on some new agents from other brokers, experienced agents, and then there's still people taking their test and getting into the business.
Right.
So I think we've had the best Q1 hiring quarter that we've had in probably the last 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
In this market, which it makes you scratch your head.
Yeah.
But we're very grateful for it, and
yeah, for me, I'm not really on that end, but I know, how we kind of operate is, we brought in some seasoned agents.
Yep.
Like I said, Mark Schaffner's not with us, who's
Shaft Daddy.
Yeah, he's the man. He's out there recruiting and talking to people, and I think we're seeing more agents kind of movement from one to another. But at the same time, I've had some people call me to say, hey, I'm thinking about getting, so there's still people doing it. I think maybe they see an opportunity. I think, but the one thing I've seen is that I want to say, mid 2020 into early last year. I mean, there were so many agents, and you could tell which ones were new in terms of, they're coming in there just to grab, and which is fine. But I was just like, whoa, like all of a sudden
it was
I was like,
deluge.
what is going on? And now I'm back kind of seeing I'm not seeing that person again. Maybe I'm just saying, like, there were so many. I'm like, getting calls from all these people, and not that I never got random calls, but it's just, there seemed like there was just a lot of new people,
new agents. Right.
So I think, there's probably some people who have been in it for a year and they're like, well, I don't know if I can stay in this.
I'm out.
But then there's other people who probably see an opportunity. They're like, well, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. So I think we'll probably kind of see that going on for a while.
What do you think? You've been doing this a while. Why do you think people change brokerages, agents? Why do they make switches? What would be your top 2 or 3 reasons that someone makes a move?
I hate to say this, but I think a lot of people sometimes chase the dollar. And I think sometimes, which is fine, I think, but at the same time, I think it's, commission split. You want to make your money, the caps, all that. And I think that's one. I think 2 is,
they move from a place of a higher split to, like a 100% brokerage.
Right. Exactly. And which is great. And I think that's one thing. I think that's the easiest one to say.
I think it's short-sighted.
Sure. I never thought like that. I think another thing now is with the, the social media thing and all that of the world. I think tech, that draws marketing. I think, the big thing, and that's, we're starting to, like at All Hunter, that we have now, we're really starting to get into that more, where before we weren't, we were, but it wasn't to the level of it is now.
Right.
I think that, you see a company like App Properties came into Birmingham, and they have their whole platform and all that. So I think that's people, this younger generation, they can capture, they think that you have the opportunity to capture clients, people on social media. I think that tech side is huge. And I think, if I had to pick one, sometimes I think it's where your business is. I think people who, they start in real estate
locally, like geographically.
They're starting their business going, all of a sudden they're starting doing business in Rochester, and they're in Birmingham going, well, maybe I should go find a broker out there. Right. I know, speaking from my experience, I started at Max Brook in Birmingham, and it was great. I mean, I was new to the business. I'd been in sales before, but I was never in real estate. And
what year was that?
That was 2016. So it'll be a year, 6 years, Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
And I was there, and it was great, but I was new. Luckily, I sat around some great people. My desk office was upstairs. I had Simon Thomas, the Barkers, who else was a couple other people up there. Saverio was up there. So guys who and they were, helpful to me. But I knew that I wanted, it was so big. Like, I don't think they knew who I was, which is fine, because I think I did like 2 million in my first, it was
of course.
not ideal. My wife was really happy, but But with Mike and Hall and Hunter, and I knew Ryan and Brad a little bit, and I think that what drew me to them was the smaller kind of family, boutique more type of thing to maybe just kind of, more of my focus. And I grew up in a family business, so that was something being family owned that just drew me to them, and it all kind of worked out. But I think too, there's that can happen too, where you know somebody or that. But I think that the geographical thing I've seen more, and you probably see it on your end more, because people are like, well, I got to be here. Yeah. This is where, and you don't know that's going to happen sometimes. All of a sudden, like, oh man, I got all my friends are in, I live in Royal Oak, and my friends are here, and I gotta be there. There. So I think that's a thing.
So splits in geography, really. Yeah. Top two. I think that's
geography and support, and marketing.
Yeah, and marketing, tech, and all that. I think that's, and especially in today's world where, social media is very present, and I think is kind of flipped even though I get mailers every day in my house.
Mailers are still a thing.
They are, I know, and they're great, but I think you see more of the social media, the videos, all the, all that stuff. So.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I don't. Are you doing any social media?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. A lot of Instagram. I'll just just the top of mind stuff. I'm not that great at it. No, I mean, I do enough where I think I'm okay. We do some target mailers and stuff like that. But Mike and I, we've really built our business on our relationships. Yeah. Somebody told me when I started, and I actually might have been my uncle who's in Chicago. I was a realtor. He said, "Don't worry about the people you don't know. Yeah, just worry about the people you know."
Good advice.
Worry about the people you know. Kyle, you know a lot of people.
That's really.
He's like, advice. That's where you're going to build your business, and I took that to heart. And my dad told me the same thing. I think Simon told me the same thing. Like, just Kyle, like you walk to this office, 30 people. He's like, people, so just concentrate on the people you know, because you might get a couple of people you don't know, which is great, out of word of mouth or referrals. Right. And that's really what Mike and I have done.
How do you do that? Like specifically, how do you focus on those people you do know?
I think like the Instagram stuff for me has been great. I mean, people I've gotten, man, you sell a lot, of stuff. I don't know if I do. Maybe they just look once in a while when I had a good couple of weeks. But that, and I think just being out, being, on the golf course, or being, out in town. My family's been around me forever. So I got siblings, I got cousins, I got a big group of friends. And I think it's just always, and everyone's always kind of looking at like, hey, just call Kyle, call Mike, we'll take care of you. And I think Mike, Mike's been around for so long in terms of, his friends have kind of in his sphere of all that have, they've kind
of the guy
slowly moved up. Yeah, he's the guy. So
he's the guy.
And I'm slowly learning that. But yeah, I just really just try to, and it's funny too, when you're in real estate, it. I mean, it being in your business, and anywhere you go, that's what people ask me about all the time, regardless.
Super easy conversation.
My kid's baseball game. Like, hey, how's the market? What's going on here? My neighbor's house, all that. So it's always, so I try and just stay on the top of mind of people. But no, it's just, having my boots on the ground here for so long, it's helped. And I think I just concentrate on that, because there's so many people, so many realtors, it's hard to capture the people you don't know. Right. Again, it's not, we don't get those. We do. We've had people, we got interviewed 2 weeks ago. It was awesome.
Got interviewed.
Yeah. They did background checks and stuff, more or less.
Really?
That was pretty awesome.
They did background checks.
Yeah. And we still got them, they still hired us, which maybe they didn't, they didn't go too deep. But no, and I think, that's for me, that's again, we do capture some people that we don't know because of referrals, but those are referrals that are coming from our clients who are in our network, our friends, all that. So I think that's kind of where that's kind of what I was been at, and that we're going to continue to do that.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Tommy.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you something. And I forgot it.
It's okay.
So that happens.
That does happen.
That happens.
He'll remember it.
You think so? I hope so.
Probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
You think
tonight he'll text you at 9:00.
Right.
Oh, this is what I was going to ask you.
Right.
So I was reading an article on Canada and their home prices, and we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Canada's home prices are way worse than they are here. And it's gotten pretty bad. What was it? It was 9 times the household income.
Oh my gosh.
9 times the household income is what I looked up.
Is that where we're headed? Are we just earlier on this curve?
Yes.
Yeah.
because I mean that's been developing in Canada like that for the past 12 years, and it's not flipped.
That's what
right.
I'm
We're
saying.
talking about it flipping back. Canada has never flipped back.
No.
So only rich people own homes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or other people own really, really tiny homes.
But there's still
There's still
$1 million for a bungalow in Toronto, like that's like 1,200 square feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Toronto's nice, but come on, not that awesome.
I mean, it's Canada.
Yeah.
My ex-wife's from Canada.
So he hates
Canada now. He doesn't have one maple tree in his yard.
No.
I cut them all down.
No Canadian club anymore. No Labatt's.
He will not watch hockey.
Yeah, no more hockey. I get you.
Hockey's not really Canadian. It's
It's worldwide.
It's worldwide.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, okay. But I'm not going to watch hockey.
But I mean, that is crazy. I mean, I hear about it in other states. I've heard people are like, Florida being one of them. I mean,
Florida's wild.
Florida's wild. You know what? I think not a comparison, but for here, the one thing I've noticed, and again, and not to say that, it's the market, but I remember when I saw the first $1 million house in Royal Oak.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no. Oh man. Not to say that it's not. I love Royal Oak, but you never saw that.
No.
Even in its best.
What year was that?
2000 and I want to say it was 2019 or 20, like right after it was maybe mid 2020. But I remember it coming up and Mike being like, whoa. I'm like, whoa. Now they didn't, I think it sold for $9, but that kind of started me going, whoa. Okay. And then I see and then that kind of flipped over to, the new builds in Berkeley.
Yeah. Yeah. Berkeley. We were talking about Berkeley last week.
And I'm going, whoa. Okay. And now I was like, wow, this is going to get, should I sell my house? I mean, this is going to be,
right. It's Ferndale now.
Then you get to, you're Ferndale.
Oak Park's next. And then it just keeps going.
Hazel Park.
Right.
Yeah.
Clawson is, it's all the movement, because the rule of thumb used to be, Birmingham and Bloomfield price people out. So they went to Beverly Hills and to Royal Oak and to Berkeley. Now they're in Ferndale. Now they're in Oak Park, Hazel Park, Clawson. Now there's those areas in Detroit that people are going to. It's just, but not to kind of change this up, but it's just, I remember the $1 million house in Royal Oak. I'm going, wow. So we're there. We made it.
The average price reached a record $816,000 in February. Where is that at? That's in Toronto. That's the average price.
Average price. Wow.
Average.
That's
how I just pulled it up. It's fucking insane.
Wow.
It's insane.
Well, don't move to Toronto.
No. Or Vancouver.
Or Calgary.
Or
Edmonton.
Edmonton.
See, I get Vancouver or something, like mountains, there's a draw, but Toronto's just Toronto.
Have you ever been to Toronto?
Yeah, I was just there.
Toronto's nice.
They have a lake like we do. Like, but it's not like there's attractions. Right?
Yeah,
there's nothing really bringing you.
They've got the Sky Tower,
the CN Tower.
We
did that.
Yeah,
I haven't been there since like New Year's Eve in college, so you don't remember much.
Where'd you go? Government? There's this club called Government. It was unbelievable.
I knew you remember that.
Yeah,
I think I saw Fat Boy Slim there.
There you go.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
You saw Fat Boy Slim live?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that's a good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I would love. Like I was just telling someone the other day, I would love to see Fat Boy Slim live.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah,
from what I remember.
Maybe that's what you're going to ask him.
Yeah. Hey man, you want to go to a rave?
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to go to a rave next weekend? No, dude. But that's what I'm saying. I think like Canada didn't see this depreciation crash or whatever it is, right? So who's to say that like we are on this collision course with this imminent explosion of our housing market? I personally do not see that happening because I don't see the supply demand issue going away. I just don't.
There's just too much money in circulation for any type of deflation to happen right now in lumber or gas or houses or gold or there's just too many dollars. We were talking about it yesterday. Like think about the trillions and trillions of dollars that were just pumped in over the last 18 months.
Yeah, I mean,
PPP loans, IDL loans.
To think that anything in price is going to go down is kind of silly.
No, and I think too with rates getting as low as they did, that's not a sign of health.
No.
So you that's what you have to weigh on. People like, oh, this is great. I'm like, well, you can't sustain that. That's unhealthy. That's like
unhealthy.
That's like going on a bender. It's just hard to, once you stop, you're like, oh God.
Oh my God.
Where am I? What did I do? Oh man. That kind of stuff. So it's almost like, it's like, like senior year in college. You're like, wait, what day is it? Oh, it's March. I missed January and February. But I think that I just don't think that only people realize that's not healthy. That's not, like I said, that 2019, that market to me was that 4, you might be able to get below 4, if you had it all going on, but that when you're getting, my clients are getting 30 years at 2.6 and I'm going,
correct. Right.
What? Like, I think we did a cash out refi. I was still at 3 1/4. I'm like, wait, that's not supposed to happen.
That's supposed to happen.
It's supposed to go to like 6.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to get gouged there, but
most people aren't moving.
No, nobody's moving.
You're sitting at a 3% rate right now. Why would you move?
I mean,
unless you had to.
What I'm saying.
Unless you had to. Yeah. Why would you even? I mean, being in real estate, my wife sends me. I'm like, no, we're not moving. I love you. You can move. I'm going to stay here, and then but I'll go, honey. If we move right now, we're going to spend and look at what our payment's going to be.
Right.
I love my mortgage payment.
You love your mortgage
awesome.
payment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, it keeps me sane at night.
Yeah.
It really does. I'm like, oh, at least I don't have to, geez.
Yeah.
If we did make a move, it would have tripled. I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Same priced house.
I'd be sleeping on the roof, waiting for it to end. Like,
you'd have to sell a lot more houses.
I would. I'd be so nervous. I don't think I'd be able to. But I think that's the thing. I think that just wasn't healthy. I mean, we all knew it wasn't healthy, but people just don't realize. Oh, this is great. And then now they're going, well, that's the repercussions for that.
Well, what's sad too is, especially with some buyers, they think the last 5 years is what normal was, right? And you always have to let people know, what you just experienced, that was not normal. This is now normal.
Right.
What you hate, that's normal.
Yeah, exactly.
What you loved was abnormal, and you think it's normal.
Right.
And it's hard to get, it's hard to have those conversations with people.
Man, it is.
Tears, a lot of tears recently.
A lot of tears. I mean, like I said, a lot of gray hairs. They're coming in fast as beard. I should start dyeing it. But that's the thing, telling buyers what they have to do to get a house, and it comes out of my mouth. And then
you shock yourself.
And they process it, and they just look at me like I'm a crazy person. And then they realize, oh my God, he's right.
He's not lying.
He's not lying.
He's not lying.
Guys, I don't want to tell you this. I don't want this to be true.
Right.
I want you guys to be able to do this. And like I said, it's just, the look in their eyes or their replies to my texts are just F you.
Just the dots for a long time.
Weird emojis.
And then a middle finger.
Yeah. Weird emojis. I have to look up, and then the middle finger comes okay, just start with that. So I know what you're saying to me.
Yeah. I mean, people are sitting on a whole bunch of equity right now and they can't even touch it.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's you sell and you're going to get gouged on the interest rate. You refinance, you're going to get gouged on the interest rate. So and what are people going to do with all this equity they're sitting on? I mean, are they?
They're Americans. They'll figure out a way to spend it. They will figure out a way to cash that out. I think a lot of people will add on. They'll upgrade their homes. They'll, quench that need of buying the next house by leveraging their equity and doing something else.
I'm living that right now.
Is that what you're doing?
Well, we're not. So the grand plans always come out, right? But we do closets, new carpet, we're doing blinds, we're doing this. She wants to do it. She front door, she, not me. New front walkway, all this, all this stuff, which is great, and painting the house. So I keep being like, let's do that, because I don't want to even think about moving. We had a guy come over to think about building up, and he gave me the price, and I'm like, no, go get out of here.
Was it crazy?
It was, and it was just to add up the kids' bedrooms and a bathroom, and then kind of blow out for our master. And it was going to be, so really we're only adding not even 500 square feet. And it was almost 300 grand. And I said, but what?
What?
Yeah. Wow. So then we were like, whoa, okay. So now we got another little plan we might do, but that's, I think what you said, people are going to be like, well, we're not going to move, but let's do all this stuff we want to do because we do have the equity. Let's pull it out and deal with it. And, we've been doing that. And, every time I'm like, she's going to come up with something else. And she does. I was like, no, it's great. I mean, the stuff that we've done has been great, but a lot of people I've talked to, who are staying, right? You're like, all right, I'm out. We're just staying. That's what they're doing. They're just improving the interior, bathrooms, kitchens, basements have been
Right.
basements have been huge. I mean, I've some of my clients, some of the stuff they've done is awesome, but they've there's stuff like that, and I think like you said, they'll figure out a way to spend.
Kyle, do you have listings right now?
I do. Yeah, we have. Well, we did. They're all gone, but we have a couple more coming up. We're listening.
So those sellers, why did they sell?
Okay, well, let's see. The one was they're moving. One moved to Chicago.
Okay, so that's a have to move situation.
All have to move. The other one was, move second chapter of his life, and needed more space.
Yeah.
And
okay, so that was
Grosse Pointe. Let's see what else do I got here. Someone upgrading. They got lucky. We got them. Someone else again. Second chapter of their life. And
so there's still a decent amount of people moving that are not in that have to move category.
Right.
They're still
a couple people moving,
motivated enough to take the action.
We had someone move to Chicago. We had someone move to England. Someone moved to Florida. Those were ones. And then we had, let's say, clients' parents that are either moving into, an assisted living or doing all that. So yeah, I mean we've had a few that. They just said, "Hey, let's do it," and then you're oh man, so then you're on the clock,
right?
We've gotten lucky with them with that, but that's the thing that, not talking people out of it, but knowing you guys can get the 60 days, but what's going on out there. You may be in a position of you have nowhere to go, right, and you don't want that, So
when you were taking those offers, just trying to get to the psychology of a listing agent, right? Mm-hmm. When you're a listing agent and you're seeing all these offers come through, what was it that made you take the winning offer? Was it purely just the cash?
You know what? No,
just the price?
There was a couple times where we had, cash won 3 times. And it was like stupid cash, like
over asking, cash.
Yeah, close, like, the quick close, and then we'll give you 60 days.
Yeah.
What we've done is we had, for example, we had a house in Royal Oak that we got really good offers on. All above asking, all this, and we ended up going with the highest number, but it was also vetting the lender, the people, like, what's going on with this? Like, I don't want to, because sometimes you get these numbers, you get these appraisal gaps, and it's do they have the cash on hand to do this? Or are they going to play the mortgage game where they're going to put less down, and then it's all this whole thing?
Yeah, you almost want proof of funds.
Oh, you do, and so we did ask for that, and then and Mike and they ended up, it was then it turned into a doctor's loan, and so it all worked out. We had one earlier in the year where we got 4 offers were literally exactly the same.
Really?
And the seller did not want to do highest and best. We didn't want to do it because she just like, I don't want to squeeze money out of people.
Yeah.
And then we just went with there was one person who was just more qualified than the others. They were all conventional mortgages. There was just one person who was just a little more down, a little more qualified, already underwritten, like ready to go.
Yeah.
Like everything was verified, not just the pre-approval and they obviously had been offering on homes for a while. So they got, but it was to see all 4 and then have to make that call.
Right.
Like,
especially the same number.
Yeah, what could I have done? And we're just like, we can't play that game of, you give us 10 grand more and you give us, it's just, to me, I don't like that.
Right.
I don't think that's fair to people. And we kept everyone, and we're like, we presented the 4, the sellers to make the decision, and, we guided them through it. But yeah, it was just the one person who just was a little more qualified than the others, had a little more money to put down, could cover the, all the stuff they promised. So it's, I think as a listing agent, it's, you got to be aware of all of that, because, people will try, I've seen, I had one last year that turned into a contingent. I'm like, whoa. And we found this out 2 weeks before closing. And I'm like, okay, well, it just was, I was irate. My sellers were actually probably more calm than I was. It all got done, but it's just, you gotta, if you don't, and I did, the lender, he may have not told me the truth, obviously, but it's
so
but
nice.
I think now, it's fucking, it's just like, you have to look at every piece of it, because, in this market, people will say the right things.
You can get lied to.
Oh,
and it's your reputation, right?
Exactly.
Like they hired you to advise them and make the right choice.
Exactly. And if that's why I was so, they made me look like an asshole.
Correct.
And luckily these, my clients were, they were great, and they're like, we know it's not you, but that's what you got to look out for. But as a listing agent, you gotta, you're going to get 5 offers, unless you price it way underprice it. And so you can pat yourself on the back to get 15, which, but eventually it just gets to the point where, okay, that's enough. Like, we have enough offers. But yeah, it's just, and I think the other bad part is when you have to call the people and like ruin their day. Right. Because I've been on that end, or the people who don't call you and just mark it pending and just never talk to you again. It's like, great. but the calls I make, and I'm like, oh God.
So you take the time to make the calls.
I do. I have, because, especially if I know the agents too, and I don't want to burn bridges. They know right when I call.
We didn't get it, did we?
Like, the one girl was so funny. She's like, I could tell by the way the phone rang. I'm like, what? She goes, I just knew it. I'm like, all right. And everyone's been in both positions, so it's tough. But I think that, that as a listing agent, like you said, I mean, they're trusting you to put them in the best position, which we do. But, you got to vet those buyers as much as you can to a point, and I think that's big.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's next? Like, for you, what are you planning on doing for the rest of the year to kind of set yourself up for the end of the year, for the second half?
Yeah. Just, we have a couple people coming up like that they want to wait until the kids are out of school. So we're going to be,
it's another
school time.
School time. So I think our June and July will lead into the August, September, October. So I think that will be good. We have a couple referrals that are moving into Michigan, which is nice. So after school, so the schools are, we'll be busy, and we'll keep doing what we're doing, man. Just kind of, control what we can control, and really just, be the advocates for our clients, buying or selling, and that's really what we do. And so, yeah, I think we'll have a good year. I think this next couple of weeks here will be big for us. We got, like I said, you have those waves of buyers where it takes a while, then you get them all done. Mm-hmm. And we feel like we're right there with a lot of them in the end of May, beginning of June. So
the roller coaster.
It is.
The full pipeline, the empty pipeline.
Yeah, exactly.
The empty pipeline.
Yeah. And then, but Mike gets people out of the woodwork. It's beyond hilarious. I'm like, what? Where did that come from? Like, who is that person?
Yeah, you get that one rant like,
he just like, this guy called me. I haven't talked to him in 5 years. Going to,
right,
$2 million house. I'm like, well, okay,
sure,
cool.
I'm in.
Great, I'm in. What do I have to do?
That's the thing people don't appreciate is longevity. In the business is so valuable.
Yeah,
longevity is just the longer you can stay in this as a full-time agent. The more valuable you'll become.
Ride the
up
wave.
Markets, down markets, whatever. Yeah. Like, it's and it takes a minute to get off the ground. It takes solid 2, 3, 4 years to get there. You're just on the come up, right? Yeah. You're just past the come up portion.
Yeah. I remember, I talked to a couple of young agents last year, and I just told them, like, listen, guys, this is not, everyone thinks it's easy. It's not. But I said, just hang in there. Because, every deal will, it's just building. It's building blocks. It's, I kind of do like the little circle gets bigger, and you're kind of pulling from there. But that's true. I mean,
someone once told me it's the space shuttle analogy.
Yeah.
The space shuttle uses 80% of its fuel to go the first, 4 or 5 miles out of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then it'll travel hundreds of thousands of miles. On the remaining 20%. And it's kind of like real estate. It's so hard to
get out of that gravity,
get out of the pull of gravity. But once you do, like Mike, he just kind of, like you said, it just falls out of the woodwork. He's just floating and
he's floating. When he started, he was, he remembers every house. I mean, it's hilarious. Like, I sold that one in 2011. I'm like, or 2006.
He's that guy. He's that guy. Yeah.
He'll like be in it and be like, wait.
Yeah, but you remember all yours.
Yeah, sometimes, most of the time. But no, I think that's the thing with him is that longevity. And like I said, he's hung in there through, all kinds of stuff. And like I said, that's why it's good for me to be, for us as business partners, he can kind of feed off that and be like, it's going to be fine. We're going to, you're going to go through the ups and downs. But yeah, I remember my first 2 years was, second kid, and my wife's looking at me going, but
Mike.
And I knew that I could, because I had the feeling, okay, with my network and the people, I knew, I'm like, all right, but it's not going to get there overnight, and you just kind of put your head down and,
Mhm.
and then I saw it. Okay. And then, to be where we are now is obviously, I'm lucky to be here. And like I said, it's going to continue to keep going. And like I said, I don't have blinders on, but I just kind of put my head down and do the work.
Right.
Well, there's no luck involved, in my opinion. I think it's luck is, to me, it's like a bullshit statement. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
I think some people like fall into things, but I think they put themselves in position to fall into
I guess
things.
that's good. That's actually a better way of putting it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't believe in luck.
Yeah.
Just in general, just for the
It was
people out
fortunate that he sat where he sat, around the people he sat.
I'm telling you, that really helped. That really was
fortunate situation.
there. Yeah, but you can put someone else in the same situation.
Exactly.
You're not going to get the same.
Correct. Correct.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and having my dad in the background, who, built a business, the funeral business, built a business in the community with my uncle, and to have him kind of like, obviously it's a little different business, but I know they say it's client relations, but to have him in the background telling me, just be yourself, care for the people you're taking care of, and it will all, it will continue to grow. So that helped too, just to have him from a guy who's built a business for 50 years in this community. So always nice.
I want to get into that next time.
We get into that.
We're running out of time, so let's get to 3 questions real quick, and then we'll get you on your way, dude. All right. First question that I'm going to ask is going to be, drum roll, please.
Comes up with it.
Yeah, I just come up with it on the spot. I have no fucking idea. If you had to listen to one song the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
One song.
You're going to laugh because it's actually been happening more lately, but I'm like kind of back into the 80s.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Easy Lover by Phil Collins.
Ooh.
I'm not. With the guy from what's his name, from Philip Bailey.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I hear that song, I'm like, I'm happy.
All right.
So I could probably listen to that one.
All right.
Yeah, I could
there
do
we
it.
go.
Just because it's so good.
So forever.
I could do it because it's still like it was good in the 80s. I'm listening in 2022. I mean,
it's still bopping your head.
Still bopping my head.
That's awesome.
All time.
Tom, do you have a question?
No.
No.
A question for you?
Not for me. This is 3 questions for our guests.
Right. I'll take the third one. Go ahead. I have to think longer than you.
All right. If you had to eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Oh man, one food for the rest.
Better
of my
be something your wife makes.
No.
He goes no.
No. I did not mean like that. You know what? It would be my best friend. Mom's. She's like my mom, my second mom.
Yeah.
Her pasta sauce.
Pasta sauce.
Oh my God. I eat it like soup. I don't even put noodles in it. I mean, it's got the short ribs, the sausage, the meat. I would eat it. I mean, I like steal it from his house.
That's amazing.
I'll go in his freezer and just take it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I literally would. I would literally eat that. I could eat it every day.
That's amazing.
All right, Kyle, you said you had 2 kids, right?
Yes.
Both boys?
Boy and girl.
Boy and a girl.
Yep.
What lesson do you hope that they take forward in life when they become adults? Like, what's the one lesson you're trying to instill into them?
Man, I guess it would be, be a loyal friend, be loyal to the people that you love, your friends, your family, because at the end of the day, it's all you get, and to me, I think that's the most important thing. Everything else comes and goes, but family, friends, that's really what it's about to me. And that's kind of how I always kind of live my life. And I think that, I hope they take that from me, and they probably won't. They'll listen to their mom probably has other ideas, but no,
They're
I really
be backstabbing little bastards.
they're both really good kids, and I think that. But no, I think if it was to be like that, I think would be something that I'd be proud of if they could, take that from me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we've run out of time, so
Great.
Kyle,
Appreciate it, guys.
Tell the audience how they can get a hold of you.
Oh yeah. Well, now my new K Desmond at theagencyre.com, paradadesmond.com. And on Instagram at Kyle C. Des, at Parada Desmond Real Estate, and Facebook Kyle Desmond Real Estate, which we're transitioning over to Parada Desmond as well. So yeah, I'm out there.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. For those of you that have sat through the show, thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, and go to our website at irepodcast.com if you want to leave us a message. Leave us a review. We do appreciate it. Go to Facebook.com/IRE podcast if you want to see us live. Otherwise, you can listen to us on any podcast app that's out there. For those of you that listen in, thank you. For those of you that didn't, hopefully you had a good day. So,
Thanks, guys.
We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Inside Real Estate, the nation's top real estate podcast. Don't forget to follow us at irepodcast.com and everywhere where podcasts are available.